Wrestling is one of the most grueling and strenuous sports. The strength, endurance, and technique needed is foreign to most people who have never participated in the sport. Today, you get to experience what it's like to be a Division II college wrestler with Zach Pincus and Zach Wawrzyniak-Bush in this edition of Through Marauder Eyes.
Yeah, we'll just go.
Tyler Wenger of MSBN joined here by Zach Pincus, senior wrestler. And Zach, can you just first start off by telling us, when that wrestling match first starts, what are you looking for in your opponent to know when to take a shot or how to defend yourself? What keys you into knowing what to do?
Well, it's really just where his lead leg is. I really like attacking that. I like attacking the lead leg. So, if he's got his right lead leg forward, I don't mind banging his head real hard with my left hand and sweeping in nice with my right. Just like opposite for the left lead leg, and if he's got a more square stance, I don't mind really just snapping him down hard and shooting under, trying to get both those legs. It's little things like that that make up the beauty of wrestling.
And just in your own personal preference, when you're out there on the mat, do you prefer, to be on your feet and to be able to kind of take shots, or do you prefer to be down on the mat and use technique and your strength?
I always say to the referee in the third period, I'm taking him to prom. We're gonna dance on our feet all day. All right. That's what I like. That's what I like to call it, because we're dancing. Let's go.
Good. And wrestling is one of those really grueling sports. People who haven't wrestled before, or haven't been to a wrestling match, it's just a few minutes of just intense action. Can you talk about how endurance and strength play such a key? And you just talked about being in the third period, and what do you look to do, especially in the third period, when you might see your opponent start to weakening, or what can you take advantage of in the third period?
Well, essentially condense a football game into 7 minutes, and you have a wrestling match. It's just constant in your face. And I know to the outside observer, they're just slapping and pulling on each other. How hard can it be? It really is just. Technique, talent, and endurance does play a lot of it, but it really isn't all in here. There's a wrestling saying: the first period goes to the kid with the best technique, the second period goes to the kid with the best endurance, and the third period goes to the kid with the most heart. And it doesn't matter how. College is a different animal. It's a lot of one-point matches out here. It's just who wants it a lot more of the time.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're now joined by Zach Wawrzyniak-Bush. And Zach, can you talk about, in wrestling, obviously everybody wants to attack, but there obviously are times where, you're down on the mat and you have to defend yourself or trying to escape. What are you doing when you're trying to escape, and how do you get out of that position?
Yeah, this is actually not one of my strong suits, but usually when you're down, one of the first things you want to do is gather the wrists and get wrist control, because they're always trying to get around your waist or get your wrist or suck your arm under, keep you flat. What you want to do is try to clear the wrist, get wrist control, and then come up to your feet. They'll usually drop down, lock around you. You just got to kind of force it to a hip and break out, roll around. Some kids are just good at just rolling around and creating space, and then they just pop right out.
Gotcha. And now, do you have any type of favorite move or favorite technique? Wrestling's a sport where technique is so crucial to being successful. So do you have a favorite move or technique that you put on an opponent?
Yeah, I like single legs for my feet, and I have a special move, the lat drop, that I like to do. It's a big move that you do, kind of like last minute situation type thing, but it's a pinning combination, so it's effective.
Yeah. Good. And do you have any little piece of information for somebody out there who's never wrestled before, just to kind of give them an insight into what wrestling truly is like?
I don't know. I don't really have that much insight. You got to do it to know it. People think 7 minutes on the mat is only 7 minutes, but until you do it, you really don't know how hard it is. You gotta try it out, and maybe you'll see.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Zach.
Thanks for having me.